These Withered Roots is a game played by adults and is intended for a mature audience. The game explores dark and difficult themes, including death, corruption, violence, and injustice, which may be uncomfortable or upsetting to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Shevren. You stand upon a hill of broken stone and churned earth. The air is thick with acrid scent of smoke and iron tang of blood. You taste it in your mouth. You feel it wet against your chest. You see it pooled at your feet. Your body feels heavier than it should, weary and scarred by wounds you do not remember earning. Yet it moves with practiced certainty. Armor rests heavy upon your shoulders, its weight familiar, as is the heft of a gleaming morning star that's gripped tightly in your right hand. Before you, the land falls away towards the north. Behind you, a stern yet embattled fortress looms dark and jagged against a bruised sky. Its walls are scorched, pitted by siege and age. A banner snaps violently in the wind above the keep. Its fabric is worn thin, its edges frayed, but the sigil is unmistakable. An oak tree, strong and rooted, a crown hovering above its boughs. You know this place. Carrion Keep. Beyond it to the south, you make out the city of Har, sprawling and vulnerable. A notion that causes your heart to tighten in your chest. Warriors move around you, men and women, defenders of the capital, armored, shouting, bleeding. They look to you for direction, not with fear, but trust. A woman rushes to your side. It's secure in the keep, sire, for now, she reports before rushing forward to pull another fallen kingsman of Har to his feet. A horn sounds and men shout. Too close. You raise your weapon without hesitation and command forward Har's defenders. Steel clashes against steel as a horde of combatants crests the ridge. Their dark shapes surging forward, their banners snapping as warriors collide. In this moment, lives are sacrificed for the realm, for Har. Shadows fall across you as figures break through the smoke. Weapons raised, rushing in. You raise your weapon and instinct takes over. Shevren, roll initiative.
Remind me, this is straight D20?
D20 plus your dex.
Well, my dice are already behaving like they do. We're going to call that 7.
Okay. You see these shadows sort of loom forward, and they are warriors. They are capable, fierce warriors shouting, "Ah!" coming towards you. You actually beat my initiative. So as one of them comes forward towards you within range, what do you do?
I'm strike him down by the might of my Morning Star.
All right. Swing this gleaming Morning Star.
Oh my gosh. We are off and running. That is...
I hear Jose laughing.
12.
A 12. Okay. You crush the Morningstar down on this combatant. Where do you hit them on their body? It's definitely a hit.
Straight on the top of their head because they're shorter than I am.
Okay, you crush their head, caving in their helm. They fall to the ground. Yet another combatant files in behind them to take a swing at you with a 13 to hit you.
I think that is a miss, as my armor absorbs the impact.
It glances off your armor, and you have a chance to take another attack at this individual should you desire to.
Yes, I will use a two-handed backswing against my opponent.
Okay.
Ooh. However, I'm changing dice because that is a 7.
With a 7, they block it with their shield, your attack, and it glances off, and they look at you, and then that's when you hear this sizzling sound from the sky, and you see the shadow that rolls over the plain to the north, coming towards Carrion Keep. This sizzling beam of energy shooting from the sky, erupting from the heavens and tearing across the battlefield. One of your fellow soldiers comes forward and defends you from this individual in front of you, but this large beam of energy slices across the battlefield, cutting down foe and ally without prejudice. Bodies fall, scattered remnants of heroism reduced to charred meat. The beam rips towards the keep, and as you look back at the keep and see this beam of energy, the keep explodes in a ball of flame. Then pain, sudden and overwhelming. Something slams into you, Shevren, with terrible force. The world lurches. You fall to one knee, then to the ground. The sky spins. A soldier drops beside you, hands slick with your blood, panic breaking through discipline. Sire, stay with me. Someone, get a healer. Don't close your eyes. Please, sir, stay with me now, I say. Morvanyr be damned. The sounds of battle roar around you, muffled now, distant. Your vision narrows. Carrion Keep blurs at the edges. The banner of Har fades from view. The soldier shakes you. Sir, please, sir. Sir? Sir. Your eyes open. Sir. You feel a gentle hand upon your shoulder. Sir, we have them. The men await your command. Your eyes open and you realize that you must have dozed. A dream, maybe? Or a memory? Ty, describe for us what Shevren Allister looks like in this moment as you find yourself sitting in a chair, your helm on the table next to you in an otherwise empty room.
Just after this event?
Yes.
Yeah.
All of that having been part of this sort of like dream or strange memory that you had while you were dozing.
In this moment, I'm battle-worn. I have the smudges of the earth on my skin, but also a matting of blood and hair where my mid-length hair, the length of it is pressed against my skin where blood and mud and the fluids of healing have caked it. But I'm slumped a little bit into the chair, not sitting upright and sternly. I'm recovering. But nonetheless, I sit with an air of authority. And the strength of my body is evident. The damage that I withstood on the battlefield was not enough for me to succumb to by any means. And the aid that I received from my allies has likewise reinforced my vigor. But I'm tired. And as I sit in this empty room, I'm grateful for a moment's respite from the chaos that I've endured, as have the rest of my allies in this recent battle.
Shevren, give me a wisdom check, please. This is going to be a normal check for you, so 12 is your target.
I have enemies in plastic and resin. 4.
It's strange. You look at these 6 men, these capable men standing at attention. One of them you recognize, Haster, the one who woke you, who roused you. But the memory of this battle fades almost as quickly as you realize that you're not injured, you're not caked in mud, you're not tired from battle, weary, beaten. You are readied. You are yourself. You are in a different place. You look at your hands, they're clean, having woke in your own quarters this morning, preparing for this night's mission. You remember now the Covenant cell, the mission, the men here tonight, implementation. You remember these things, a small cell of Covenant rebels that have they've become aware to you, to the Kingsmen, and here you stand as a representative. These 6 capable Kingsmen of Har stand waiting for you, and Haster looks at you again and says, "Sir." He comes closer and he leans down. "Shevren, are you okay? Are you ready? The men, they await your command."
Of course. Of course, men. Tonight we take another step in rooting out the infiltration of this covenant in our house. We've done this before. You're all capable.
Yes, sir.
Let's fulfill
Yes,
our
sir.
duty.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes. All six of them give an acknowledgement of your rousing pep talk, and they, as you stand up and join Haster and the men, Haster leads you side shoulder to shoulder with you, but leading you down outside the door, down to across this alleyway. You can see that it's dark. You get the sense that maybe it's the very early moments before the sunrise. You've been staking out this safe house for a number of days, and tonight is the mission. This morning is the mission. You watch as your capable kingsmen prepare themselves to breach the door, and they look back to you. There's two men on either side of the entrance door into this small building, a warehouse of some kind. They look back to you for the signal.
I clap the haft of my morning star from my left into my right hand and nod.
At that signal, they break down the door, shouting in their excitement as they rush in, all six of them, and then Haster and yourself coming in. You watch as the individuals inside this room scatter in all directions, knocking over chairs, tables, shouting, grabbing for weapons. Two of them come up with weapons, and I need you to roll initiative, please.
5.
Okay, with that, one of them comes up and slams a dagger into Haster's neck. As he starts to bleed out, he drops immediately to the ground as one of the other men comes in and slices down the chest of this generally unarmored Covenant agent, cutting them down. The rest of the men begin to subdue and overpower these unarmored and unprepared men who have been caught in the middle of their preparations this morning, except for one who darts out of a side door running. What do you do?
See to Haster, and I take after the one that left.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes. You run. Go ahead and give me a dexterity or strength, your choice. And let's use grit on this one if you've got it.
Grit. Remind me of the mechanic for grit, please.
Grit is going to give you advantage because this is going to be an opposed roll.
Okay.
So let me bring up, I actually have, there's the roster.
Wow, I rolled the same thing twice.
Okay, what'd you roll?
Twice. I rolled a 6 plus 3 on my strength is 9.
Okay, that's good enough to beat a 7. You chase this man down as he's running. How do you capture him? As he's running, he's like pushing like civilians who are like going about their early morning business, and he's like kind of throwing them in front of you. He probably grabs like a barrel off of a crate and kind of like throws it down for you to jump over, but you easily do, and you reach out to grab him. How do you subdue this guy?
I kick his back left leg, his foot, into his right leg and cross him up and trip him.
Nice. Yeah, and he falls down on the ground and rolls over onto his back and looks up at you. What do you say?
I stand over him and I lower the morning star, the point on the top of it at his chin. And I say, by the authority of House Har, you are under arrest.
He looks up at you with this sort of like evil looking grin, a couple of his teeth missing. He's sweaty, wet. His hair is stringy and matted, and he looks like he hasn't eaten in days. He looks up at you and says, "Your royal house cannot save you from what's coming. It has only cursed you and the people of this land." And then with that, you watch as he bites down on something in his mouth. And this green froth starts to bubble out of his mouth as he convulses on the ground and goes limp. And with that, we fade from the scene. The cloistered inner walls of Morvanyr's temple feel quieter than they should. Not reverent, just empty. You walk beside your mentor, Tua, passing through stone corridors you've crossed 100 times before. Cracks are like spider webs lacing across the stone walls. Once seamless, now weathered, worn. You pass a votive niche, and there's an unlit candle that's long burned down to the cold wax. Even the stained glass above this votive looks dull, as if the color is leached from it. Ziva speaks to you. You don't need to catalog all of it, Ziva. The cracks will still be there tomorrow.
But if we don't, someone has to notice and take care of things, because if we don't pay attention, then things get lost and no one knows about them. And if no one knows about them, no one can do anything about them. And if
Yes.
not me, then who?
You are one of the most diligent of the archivists, but sometimes you need to breathe. But now is not the time. Do you know how many times I've been summoned to the Veil Warden's chambers? 3, and never to escort an archivist.
Do you think that means something bad?
Well, whatever it is, it must be important.
I don't know what I could have possibly done to capture the Veil Warden's notice. I know, like you said, I'm diligent in my work, but that doesn't seem like something that the Veil Warden would bother themselves with.
It is a weird time for all of us. The lower wards are much worse than they were last season. More petitioners asking for miracles and such, but she leans in. I haven't witnessed a miracle in 50 years. What the people need now more than anything is mercy. Perhaps she has something important figured out for you. You guys continue on. You pass beneath an archway that's carved with the Veil Doctrine. The letters are worn, but you can make them out. Life is ours to live, but not to keep. I've served our god Morvanyr for 63 years, and I've presided over more crossings than I can count. I do the work because it is my duty. But if the gods still watch over us, she kind of looks, they take no pity in our struggles now.
Surely you don't really mean you think there's a possibility the gods are missing. They're still there. We just...
Of course. No, of course not. Of course not, Ziva. All I meant is that the people struggle and the people pray. And nothing has given them hope. Remember who you are, Ziva Dahril. Scholar, steward, servant of the Veil. You now notice that the two of you are literally standing in front of the doors to the Veil Warden's chambers, and she reaches forward and touches the knob. Now, we shift a little bit here, very slightly. Not much more than maybe 2 weeks prior to where we just were. And you and your fellow priest, Lynn, a pious cleric with a lot of devotion, not a lot of experience, you know the type. The two of you have traveled to a nearby farming village called Darton. The air smells wet, the earthy smell of rot, the unmistakable signs of a growing season that has kind of drawn to a close. It's harvest time, though this year's harvest seems to have yielded little. The things you know about Darton, life is difficult here. The fields that ring the village are thin, overworked. The soil appears as though it's been turned again and again, as if persistence is somehow going to make it generous. And the people reflect this. They're lean, they're weary. Again, this sense of hopelessness, just like Tua mentioned. You and Lynn are here on official business of the temple, of course. Once each annum, Morvanyr's clergy gather the names of the dead, those who have lawfully crossed the records, and record them in a ledger of last breath. This ledger is sealed, returned to the archives in Har. It's a pretty simple clerical duty, but it's important, and it's part of the tasks and the duties that you perform as part of Morvanyr's clergy. And on this particular day, as you enter into town with Lynn at your side, there is a local representative who you've probably met before, who walks up to you near the shrine, which is he's got this sort of like kind of shabby clothes. He's not an aristocrat by any sense. He's a bureaucrat, low level. And there's a chill in the air, but his bald head is glistening with beads of sweat, and his voice is really low as he comes. There's a problem. Priests, priestesses, one that doesn't sit right. and he pulls out this ledger. Its pages are stained with dirt and sweat, and he opens it up. A man named Edrin Helvik, farmer, supposedly died not more than a month ago. Fever, they said. And he flips through the pages.
Okay.
There's no accounting for his passage, no rite recorded, no breath surrendered. He swallows, and then he kind of offers you the ledger to take a look at.
Ziva will accept the ledger and start also flipping through.
You flip through it. It looks like everything that you would expect to see upon your arrival to do this auditing, so to speak, of the death records and the chronicling. It looks in order. This man and these people keep very good records, but you look through and there's no record this season's death of Edrin Helvik. And then that's when he says, the townsfolk say they've seen him.
That was someone with him when he died? I don't understand how this man could have passed, as you say, and then be seen later.
Yes, of course. It's all very confusing. His wife, Yarla, she has been less than helpful in this matter. Their farmstead is not more than 5-minute walk from town center, but she is quite agitated, I should say.
Ziva will turn to her fellow archivist priest and say, maybe we should go visit the wife to see if we can't clear this up and perhaps offer some comfort to the widow of this man.
You can see she looks a little nervous about possible confrontation, but she nods and says, yes, that is our duty, and I will stand by your side, Ziva, of course.
Okay, then we will go see the wife of this man and see if we can't clear this up for our records.
Of course. I will take you there now. And you and the other two start to walk following this man, you and Lynn, towards down the lane, and eventually you come to this modest homestead. It looks like probably a single-room house. There are some well-worked fields surrounding it. You see that there is a woman on her knees in the fields, and she's digging and pulling. You can see that she's pulling up and putting root vegetables in a pile on a small wagon. And she notices you come in, and she stands up and wipes the red clay from her hands. And you can see as you come closer to her, this being Yarla, that they farm parsnips, turnips, carrots, and that kind of thing here. She seems a bit startled. Yes, Harvin, what is this? Priestess, she kind of nods to each of you. I assure you that he's quite well. She just offers that up without any questioning.
Is he inside? Can we speak with him? We just want to understand how he was said as deceased, but apparently that was wrong. Did he recover from his fever?
He's quite well. I mean, and she gestures, and you can see that there is a man, maybe 100 to 200 feet on the other end of the field, and it looks like he's doing the same thing. He's picking root vegetables out of the soil and putting them in a pile, and just sort of like root vegetable. You know, it looks like he's working. And she says, I'm sure this is proof enough. I mean, he's working the fields alongside me. And
well, then we'll just go speak with him and offer a blessing before we
I don't think that is necessary, please.
It's fine. We just would love to
please, I beg of you, just leave us be. Please.
Is there something wrong, ma'am?
This is when the bureaucrat opens up the ledger and says, "There was no recording of any death, yet we were informed that your husband, Edrin, had died." That's just wrong. Everything is wrong. No, he's alive. He's quite alive right there. Please, just, no, she shouts, no. And you look back like over her shoulder and you can see that the man kind of stops and stands up. And then he turns and he starts walking towards you. And he's sort of like stumbling a little bit. He's like dragging a foot and kind of stumbling. She's like, Yarla grabs you by the arm and she said, "Please, you don't understand. I just need one more season, just until the harvest is over." And he's kind of like walking towards you.
Ma'am, you wouldn't have done anything unreasonable.
Unreasonable? Do you think it's unreasonable to provide for my children, my family, to finish the year's harvest? How unreasonable is that? And that's when he gets closer and you can see he's like, and you get the sense that he has been deceased for some time. And Lynn takes like 3 steps back at this point. I need you to roll initiative, Ziva.
Oh, goody. Okay.
The husband's not too happy about being interrupted from his harvesting, apparently.
Oh no. Oh, that's how this game is gonna go. I just rolled a nat 1.
Oh no! Nat 1.
No.
Okay.
Ziva is having a bad day.
Yeah. Give me, do this for me, please, if you would, Ziva. Give me a D6 roll. 1 through 3 is bad. 4, 5, or 6 is worse.
Well, at least I'm consistent. That's a 1.
Okay, so it's bad. He comes up, and as he does, he kind of reaches up with one hand, and the bureaucrat fellow is just kind of standing there perplexed, like, what in the name? And the husband zombie swings his hand and just clubs the guy on the side of the head, and he falls right to the ground, blood pouring out of his mouth and his ear, and he is motionless. That is, he looks like he's probably dead. It is your turn. What would you like to do?
She will shout at Lynn, tend to him, and then she's going to grip her symbol of Morvanyr, which is a round metal circle that she wears as a necklace, and hold out her hand, and she's going to try to cast Turn Undead.
Okay. All right. So this is a tier 1 spell. So your target for this is an 11 or better, and you successfully cast it. And it's we're
gonna try a different die.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a little better.
And you're adding your wisdom.
Yes. Unfortunately, that's not good enough. That's going to be an 11.
11 is your target. That's what you needed, actually.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. So what happens now is they get to make a charisma check versus that 11 to see what happens. And if it's less, if I roll a nat 1, they are destroyed. Otherwise, it's going to flee from you if it doesn't beat an 11. And that does not beat an 11. That is a 9 total. And so it starts to backpedal, and Lynn drops down to the bureaucrat. She looks up. He's dead. This creature is not going to make any attacks. It's just going to start walking backward. But the wife comes in and slaps you across the face. I'm going to give her a chance to attack you. That is a 6. I think she misses you on a 6. So she comes in and like tries to intervene and misses. It's your turn. What do you want to do? Just leave us alone. Go away.
I am going to
I would say because you have turned undead, if you would like to make an attack on this thing to try to that, I would give you advantage on this attack.
Okay.
But if you hit, it will cause the turn undead to no longer be active, and it will be able on its next turn to come after, make an action.
Yeah, but like holy mandate of Morvanyr, I can't allow the undead to continue to exist.
Can't abide. No,
it is blasphemy. So we're gonna have to take that risk. I'm just wondering. So if I use a spell, I can't also attack in the same.
Yeah, it's just one or the other.
Round,
yep,
right. One or the other.
Action.
Okay, then we will not soup up my weapon. We'll just try to take him down with my very unlikely skills. But I think she'll pull out her short bow and she's going to try to shoot
the
retreating
dexterity. Yep.
Undead.
Dexterity based.
Because that's a little better for me. All right, and you said I get advantage?
You're going to get advantage on this one. Yep.
All right, thank goodness. So that's a 16.
That definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage, which I think is D6.
I think the short bow is just D4.
Oh, D4. Yep, D4 on a short bow.
That's what I got noted.
Yep.
Ziva's not a combat character. This is not her wheelhouse. She is not having a good time. That's a 2.
Okay, 2 points of damage. Very cool. It's gonna now, as the arrow slams right into its chest, it sort of like realizes that it's not turned anymore, I guess, and comes after you, and it's going to make a swing at you as it closes the distance. That's a natural 1. This thing slips on a turnip and hits the ground, is now prone. You will have advantage if you want to do something to this thing. Meanwhile, the woman is crying. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give her a quick chance. She's going to come up and try to grapple you. That is a total of 7, and that misses you. So you just kind of brush her off as the authority of Morvanyr has filled you with inspiration.
Ah, yes, grief-filled widows, my only natural
advantage. Yeah, I love it. All right, we're going to try to use my mace because short bow in the face right on the ground would be weird. So we're going to try to pull out my mace and just killing blow this thing. Okay,
maybe?
And this will be with advantage.
So that's going to be a 12.
Hits.
Sweet.
Yep.
And that gives me a D6. So I do get to roll a little bit better for that. A 3.
Okay, so that's 5 points of damage so far. You hit it hard, and then it sort of starts clawing its way forward, pulling itself over the broken earth, and it reaches up and it grabs the widow's ankle, and pulls her to the ground with it, and starts to kind of smother her as he's climbing up onto her. I'm gonna go ahead and give them advantage on this attack, and they start to tear at her, and she screams out, Edrin, no! It is your turn as this is unfolding in front of you.
All right, I'm gonna try to attack again.
Okay, he's still prone, so go ahead and make it with advantage.
13.
That hits.
All right. Come on, die. 1.
1 point of damage. All right, you swing down with the mace and you land right on the top of Edwin's head and crush the skull as he has his left hand buried in his wife's abdomen, having torn. There's blood on her apron and her smock. As things go silent, you hear her sobbing and crying, Edrin, no. You look over at Lynn, and Lynn looks up at you and just shakes her head as it pertains to the bureaucrat on the ground. but you have put down the threat. As you have, what do you do now?
I would try to cure wounds the widow.
Okay. Yeah.
If we can, if she's not too far gone.
Yeah, with Lynn's help, you pull the husband's zombie corpse off of her. She has a pretty sizable wound on her abdomen, and she looks like she could bleed out any moment, but she's not dead yet. So go ahead and let's get a cure wounds check. 11 is your target.
Okay. Nice. That is a 19.
Yes, that is successful. Go ahead and roll a d6 to heal this woman.
Two.
Okay, yeah, that's enough. You watch as the magical healing of Morvanyr channels through you. What does it look like when you channel that energy to heal somebody? It's a very interesting aspect of Morvanyr.
I think when you go to cure wounds, it's as I speak the prayer, it's almost like a mist of like my own breath twists down my arm and floods into this person. Since our own essence is but borrowed and ultimately belongs to Morvanyr, and it is only by his continued good grace that we get to keep it for ourselves in our own bodies. So
you make me so
it's just
happy.
this wispy, almost like mist that coalesces from my own breath and trails down my arm and into this woman's body.
Almost as if you share a bit of your own essence to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. You watch as her wound heals. Lynn now kind of like standing above as you're sort of kneeled down helping this woman. And Lynn, this is heresy, a clear violation of the law. We must report this to the church.
The heresy has been dealt with, and there's already been one death. Would you make these children orphans?
Ziva, I would not make these children orphans. Their mother did by whatever this foul practice is. And the woman looks at you and she holds your hand. She says, my children will starve. I did nothing but ask a woman in a traveling party to prepare some herbal remedy. That's all. Just so we could take in the harvest.
If you can give us a thorough description of this woman, I think we could report back that it is clear that it was she who committed the crime. You are but a victim in this as well.
She begins to cry, and
and she will look at Lynn with like a pointed look of being like, right? That's the real villain here, not this woman who already got savaged by her own husband.
Lynn kind of looks at you with sort of a furrowed brow, but it softens as she starts to understand the nuance of what's happening. The woman, Yarla, she kind of brings herself to a seated position, and she reaches up and she gives you a hug as she's just kind of sobbing. Thank you for mercy. She goes on then to give you a description of this traveling party. The wise woman, she calls her, who happened to know a remedy that would help her with this particular problem that Yarla had with her husband. And we now sort of transition back to the present time where you are walking through the threshold, through the doors to the Veil Warden's chambers. There's no ceremony or fanfare. You simply walk in. Inside the room, it's pretty sparse. There's no icons. There's no incense burning, and just stone and iron. a single tall window that lets in a little bit of pale light. And there are shelves that are lined with sealed ledgers bound in black leather. You've seen many of these before. They are stacked here. For whatever reason, the Veil Warden has some of them in their own study, but for the most part, these records that this church keeps, and this church is in Har, the city of Har, the archives are located in the subterranean chambers beneath the temple itself. This is sort of in the cloistered resident area. The Veil Warden stands near a table, and you can see that there is a chalk diagram on the table as you walk towards. It looks to be a diagram of the veil, something you've seen before in books, but it looks as though it's been half erased and redrawn maybe multiple times. And he doesn't turn as you enter, but he speaks. Ziva Dahril, archivist, a capable and loyal steward of Morvanyr's law. He turns to face you.
You honor me with your presence, and that you know my name.
Of course. Please, come forward.
She tentatively steps forward, very convinced that Lynn has caved and she's about to get in trouble for bending the rules 2 weeks ago.
His eyes are sharp and they're colorless. He doesn't exude warmth. It is cold, hard legality, stoicism, whatever you want to call it. And when he speaks, you can kind of sense that coldness. The Monarch of Har requests a representative of Morvanyr, not for ceremony, but to bear witness. To what, it's unclear. But age weighs heavily on the man, and his essence thins, whether he acknowledges it or not. Ziva, I would like you to bear this responsibility. Be counsel to our Lord and witness. Observe, record, and advise on matters of law.
Thank you, but is there not a more experienced member of the order who would, not to question your judgment, of course, but
you were chosen because you listen carefully and because you understand restraint. Those qualities will serve you better than zeal. Now, he turns to one of the shelves and he retrieves this thin folio. It's bound in like a gray leather cover, and he sets it down on the table unopened. There are inconsistencies in the archive. Nothing actionable, not proven, just curious.
Yes?
In these trying times, succession can be murky. The Minister of Orthrin will be on hand, no doubt. Watch them closely and uphold your duty to the law. Kind of straightens with this mention of the law and duty. Will you accept this, Ziva Dahril?
Yes, of course. If that is your direction, then of course I am happy to serve.
Very well. Go with clarity, Ziva. If law is to endure, it must be witnessed. He steps aside and turns back to the table, and as he does, you hear the doors to his chamber open behind you. And that is where we will zoom back into the darkness for a moment. Florence, the clippity-clop of your wooden shoes accompany the rhythmic clatter of the armor worn by your escorts. Soldiers led by a red-haired woman of some elevated station. Their superior, stern, yet graceful. Before you looms the castle, and you shudder at the thought, you, inside a castle? It would all seem so preposterous if you hadn't seen it once before in a vision long ago. So much has come to pass in the years since you awakened. At this moment, we travel back in time to a different place. The woods beyond Hornwood are deep and loud with life. Insects buzz, frogs croak, and a lone crow caws. You've been out here longer than you should be, skirt muddied, hands slick with marsh water, but time don't mean much when you're on the hunt for frogs. And there's one frog you've been chasing for what feels like forever, perfect little thing, dark brown spots, rivers of tan, the color of your mother's tea. Every time you think you have him, he jumps just a heartbeat too soon. But this time, as he stares from the base of an ancient swamp oak, you're sure as ever.
I've got you now.
As you lunge forward with your hands cupped, please give me a dexterity roll. This will be a normal check for you, so your target's at 12.
Beats it, right?
That's right. If it meets a beat. You slam your hands down on top of this little bugger, and you feel at that same moment the edge of the forest give way as you topple forward into an ocean of ferns and right through a doorway that wasn't there a moment ago, finding yourself rolling pell-mell onto the floor of a dimly lit room. The air is warm, thick with the smell of herbs and earthly spices.
I kind of push I landed on my belly, so I kind of push myself up and look around, take in the smell.
You see shelves, bowls, mugs, cups, stacked willy-nilly, filled with poultices and tinctures and things that don't have names yet. Charms and trinkets glint softly in the dim. Above you, broad, dark-leafed branches knit together, kind of sheltering this room. The house isn't beside the tree. It's in it. A voice breaks the silence. That frog was never meant to be caught, child. You snap over and look as from the darkness, this old woman steps into view, withered, slight. Her fingertips are pitch black as if stained by ink or ash that will never go away. 7 years old and thinking you could catch him. No, dearie. I reckon it is he who has caught you.
But I did catch him, Mrs. Shade, ma'am.
Then you know who I am, is that right?
I've been told to not talk to you.
What else have you been told, dearie? Tell me, I'm so interested.
That you eat children.
And what about you? Would you taste delectable?
Oh no, Mrs. the Shade, ma'am. I taste like ash from the home fire, and like dirt and fertilizer from the crops outside, and very mean. I taste pretty mean.
Mean, you say? She laughs a little bit. It's not like a cruel laugh. She's amused by you. Very well. I suppose I won't eat you just yet. Instead, tea. And she goes over to a kettle that's suddenly boiling and whistling. She pulls it off of the stove that she has, and she pours water into a chipped cup that she carries over, and she's kind of like shaking in that sort of old woman style, and she sets it down in front of you. The steam comes off. It's giving sort of these very strange, unfamiliar aromas of roots and flowers.
This isn't the tea that my mother makes.
Oh, dearie, this is the tea that this mother makes. Drink up now, drink up. She pours herself a cup and sits down. And she takes
the choice to drink this tea is the biggest choice that 7-year-old Florence Abernathy has ever made in her entire life. And she looks into it for a long moment and kind of sizes up the smell. It's very different from her mother's tea. And she kind of looks over it at the shade, contemplating the meaning of the word yet. And then slowly, her hands shaking, just like the old hags, takes a sip.
It tastes delicious and warm, and it feels good. And as you drink it, the fear begins to ease. And as the time passes, you begin to calm your nerves. The two of you sit in most of the time that you're together in silence, but the room starts to feel right. It begins to feel safe. The afternoon wears on, and a second cup of tea is consumed. And as the afternoon is growing late, She looks down at you as she's taking your empty teacup away. You may come back, but you must never speak of this place, not to your parents, not to the priest of Erythrion, to no one.
What would happen?
Terrible things, dearie. Terrible, terrible things.
My dad says I'm a pro at terrible things.
I believe him to be true. As
Of
this,
course.
as the scene kind of comes to an end, and the meeting of Barabel, the Shade, has taken place, we transition a little bit. We move through time again, and we see that you are now grown in years, a dutiful student of Barabel's. We see this montage of you grinding herbs by candlelight and stitching charms to cloth, brewing foul-smelling poultices and tinctures, learning the names of all the swamp spirits and that sort of thing.
And a lot of lying to her family.
Oh yeah, they can't know. They can't know what's going on. There's some timid, you're a little slightly timid and hesitant, but curious and soaking up this information. Barabel shares the secrets of what she calls the old ways with you. She warns you of the gods' cruelty and the hidden world beyond the laws of men. You spend enough time with her where you see, you watch from the shadows as villagers come to her hovel under the cover of darkness, seeking remedies and guidance while refusing to meet her eyes. Their shame is quickly traded for a fever's break or a rash's soothe. And more time passes, your ability growing faster and possibly faster than your understanding of what you're even doing. And one day, we find you practicing your magic in the glade behind your home, perhaps an incantation that you shouldn't be, and certainly not in a place where you should. Give us a little bit of flavor, Florence, of what you're trying to conjure out back behind your house in this moment.
The thing that Barabel has told Florence to trust is her heart. And to trust that she has a good heart, and that in most cases, even if she doesn't know what to do, her heart knows what to do. And Florence has really come to believe that over the course of these couple years-ish. And she is, for lack of a better word, playing with light the way that a young child would play with wooden toys. She has an orb of light that is kind of undulating in her hands, and she's kind of pulling it and stretching it.
Give me
ye old goo.
Yeah, give me a charisma check. This is going to be a spellcasting check for you. Your target's going to be an 11. So add your charisma.
That's a natural 20 on the dice.
Hey, congratulations. Our first nat 20 of the campaign. Very well done. Yes, and it you're so successful in forming this sort of amorphous orb taffy, almost light, and it grows bigger.
Feels good.
And bigger and bigger, and it feels good, but then all of a sudden it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you hear Florence, and you spin around, and in that same moment that you turn and look back, seeing your father marching across this little glade behind your house, the orb taffy just disappears, is gone. What in the name of the gods are you doing, child? You fool! And he grabs you by the wrist and pulls you to your feet.
Nothing. I wasn't doing anything.
Do you want the light to turn its face from us? Is that what you want, Florence?
The light was right there.
I knew you would be trouble. I knew it wouldn't end. Don't think I don't know what you're up to or where you've been. To your room.
What do you mean?
To your room now.
Just that white, hot, cold feeling of shame between her ears. She just runs inside.
That night, you hear your father and your mother arguing. It's pretty heated. His voice is elevated. as is hers. But she takes a turn in the conversation when he starts talking about sending you away to the convent, sending you to the temple for penance. Your parents have always loved you. Your dad, a stern man, your mother probably closer to you. But in this moment, they are negotiating your future in their life. And the weight of that is heavy on you. She's able to soothe his temper. And he comes down from that elevated sense of needing to punish you for this. You hear them talk about the danger of witchcraft, how he believes that you've been out in the wood communicating with the spirits or some ungodly thing. And after this moment, this day, this confrontation, your relationship with your father is never quite the same. It's fractured. There's a sense of betrayal that he feels and probably some shame, like you said. Years pass again, and you continue, despite the warnings, to sneak off, to study with Barabel, definitely against your father's will. You do a better job of keeping your secret after that day. You learn a lot about what can happen when you're caught. You're about 12 now, and your power has grown considerably. You find yourself at this moment out gathering herbs at the edge of the bog, fought in herbs for Barabel's brew. The frog is with you, your companion, almost never leaves your side, but won't go into the house or your yard, stays out of the house and the yard.
Well, of course not. He's not a pet, is he? Florence was different after that day, too. She's kind of a little bit more inward these days, and she's kind of quietly just kind of picking things up, inspecting them. Very cerebral kind of presence.
It's really peaceful out here. This is a place where you can be you. You can explore and engage in sort of that very inquisitive, exploratory sort of mentality that you're maybe not allowed to do back in the village. And while you're having this moment with your little friend, Tealight, suddenly a raven flies overhead and lands in a tree perched above you and starts cawing loudly and incessantly at you. Just cawing and cawing. Cawing, and then it alights and flies towards the village.
This isn't good. This is not good. This is not good. Tealight, this is not good. Barabel said to count the seconds before it alights. That was the village. She drops everything and runs.
You run towards the village through a pathless sort of forested woodland area that you know the way through, jumping from hummock to hummock, rock to rock, very, very deftly. And you can start to smell smoke now. As you're getting closer to the village, you can hear people screaming, shouting. And as you enter the village, you see that 2 homes are already ablaze in this moment. Their thatched roofs are belching black smoke up in the air, and you can see now as you run down the street, you can see Barabel. She's standing in the muddy roadway, and she's got a gnarled staff held high over her head. And you watch as from the smoke of this burning hut, this creature steps forth, hunched, long arms, standing 2 to 3 times taller than Barabel, comes towards her, and it's got this strange, it doesn't look natural. It's got this strange, like, shadowy aura that's like peeling on, almost like it's burning off of this thing as it's coming forward. What do you want to do?
She sprints up next to Barabel with a nod up to the smoke on the roofs. Thought I recognized your work. And she's going to brace herself next to Barabel to defend the village from this thing.
Okay, give me a initiative roll, and while you're doing this, you hear shouts of "Get water! Quick, water! We're losing them!" And you look down and you can see that there are a couple of villagers that are on the ground being pulled by others out of the way. And this creature is kind of coming up and then just gets close to where you and Barabel are standing. What was your roll?
15.
Okay, that beats me. So in this moment, as this thing comes, you can see it's almost ape-like. It's got these jagged teeth, these big long arms that it kind of drags on the ground and sort of like loping on all fours as it comes out of this smoke-filled hut. What do you do?
She nudges T-Light's like butt so that he hops onto our good dear Shade. And she's going to step forward and walk right up to this creature. The only thought in her mind being, I was trained for this. I was trained for this. I was trained to do this. This is what I do. And standing there in front of this beast, she's going to look up into its eyes. And I don't know if she knows it, but in this moment, she does cast, for the first time, Willow Man.
Okay, let's get a roll for this.
Okay.
This is a first tier, so it's going to be an 11 is your target, and you're adding your charisma.
It actually needs to make a morale check.
Oh, well, you still need to roll to cast it.
Oh,
To successfully cast. Yep.
Oh, that's only a 3.
Okay, so as you channel this energy of the old ways, you hear as you step forward, Barabel, no, Florence. You step forward and you try to conjure this spell that you've been working on, and it just utterly fizzles and fails. Panicked, you look up towards this thing as it's just sort of staring there, and it looks at you, sort of like bending down, its massive head in front of you. Just imagine like a giant's head in front of this 12-year-old girl, right? And you can see yourself in its obsidian eyes. They're like glass. And you see yourself in this moment. What do you see?
I think in this moment, Florence is looking upon the beast as one looks upon any other wild animal. And in the glass, she sees herself as the beast sees her. She sees an alien bipedal thing with this unsettling, reflective, blinding, glassy eyes and this like white knife-shaped kind of like open mouth. She sees something frightening. She also sees this like smoke kind of beginning to curl out of her own clothes at this moment. And is there time to speak to it?
Absolutely. Yes.
The only friend you will find here is death. If you stay, I will kill you. Leave now.
It blinks as you finish your words, and it's unclear if it understands what you said. But you hear something, not audible like sound waves traveling across the distance between the two of you, this creature and yourself, but something in your mind. You hear the word sister. And at that moment, the creature turns and starts to shamble back into the swamp. Maribel looks over at you and grabs your shoulder. We need to leave. And she kind of grabs you and drags you by your hand as you're sort of like looking back as this creature is disappearing into the swamp. And you start going, she's going as fast as you can. That's when you hear from the village behind you, the witch! It's the witch's fault! We need to stop her! You start running as fast as you can, breaking through bramble, heading back to presumably the old swamp oak hovel that she lives in.
While running through the woods, she's like, "Didn't take them long to find someone to blame."
They always blame our kind, dearie, always. And she's running with you. Your heart's pounding in your chest. You look back and you can see villagers with pitchforks and shovels, and they're coming for you. Barabel stops the two, you and her, and she kind of kneels down in front of you. You can feel your heart pounding in your chest. Just she kneels
Please
down.
tell me you have a plan.
I always have a plan, dearie. Keep running, Florence. Off and off and off. Don't look back. Not even once. Old Tea-Light will show you the way. And she drops her hand down, and Tea-Light comes out of her sleeve and lands on the ground in front of you and starts to hop away quickly in a different direction.
That's not a plan. That's suicide.
I'll meet you. I'll find you. Just go. And she reaches down and she kisses you on the forehead, and then she gets up and she looks back and she brings her cloak over her back, and you can see like the cloak starts to cause her to disappear a little bit as she makes her way into the mangrove, like swampy, boggy area. You're there by yourself now. You can hear the shouts. You see Tea-Light just sort of like jumping away.
I will follow the frog, but say aloud to him, we're not going far, right?
And then it just keeps bounding forward. You make it a little way as you could hear the shouts, and you kind of double back, right? Because you're concerned about Barabel and what's happening.
We're never leaving. We have a hiding hole.
Yeah, you have a hidey hole. And you make your way up to like this little place where you can see the hut that she lives in, and she must be inside because the mob is descending upon her. There's about a dozen individuals, mostly men, but a couple of women in the group as well. They've got torches and pitchforks and shovels. And one of the men comes forward and puts a board up against the wall. Another one hands him a nail, and he puts the nail up, and they start hammering the nails into the walls, the door jambs to hold the door shut, to bar it from opening. They do the same thing along the windows. And then one of them takes a torch and hucks it up onto the roof, and then another torch gets hucked up on as this hovel begins to burn, and you can hear screams and curses from within. Howling and cursing, not howling in pain, but howling in anger and defiance. And as the man who's hammering the last nail on the door steps back and turns back, you see that it's your father, Orn. He's breathing heavy, sweating, and he looks triumphant as this house goes into an inferno. This is not a good place for you to be right now, Florence, and you know this in this moment.
Doesn't matter. She digs herself in as much as possible, digs dirt on top of herself, and just waits.
Give me a dexterity check. This is going to be a 12, is going to be your target.
16 on the dice.
Okay, yeah, very good. So you find yourself hidden amongst the duff and the mud and the leaves, and the time passes. You can hear the crackle and you can smell the smoke, and eventually the curses die down, the shouts die down, and the scene becomes just a burning pile of embers. The voices fade back towards the village. Men congratulating themselves, celebratory almost in their triumph over this witch that brought such a terrible curse upon the village. What does Florence do?
Waiting and waiting. Pushing down the sinking in her stomach. She kind of digs herself out and slowly and carefully looks around. Upon not seeing anyone, dashes towards the rubble and kind of slides to her knees in front of it. But is kind of looking up and around, like into the canopy and like down alleys of trees. It was a good trick. It was a good trick, mistress. You can come out. They're gone. You can come out now. It's safe. Come out!
There is no response. There is no sound whatsoever except for your shouts and your heart beating.
Her gaze falls to the blackened skeleton of Barabel the Shade in this rubble. And that's where it stays.
You're there in this state of shock. A 12-year-old girl having gone through all of this. You feel a hand on your shoulder, softly.
Barabel, I knew.
You turn and you see your mother, Billet. Oh, Florence. Oh, dear. She kneels down beside you and just gives you the biggest hug that she's ever given you and holds you tight. You can feel her sobbing. I'm so sorry.
Why are you sad? You got what you wanted.
I never wanted any of this. This was not needed. This is the cruelty of men and the law and the gods and all of it. We have our ways here. We have our ways of living. Just because it's old knowledge doesn't mean it's wrong or evil. I've made you something. She reaches into a pouch and she pulls out this bundle of food. You can't go back, Florence. You can never go back. You have to run. You have to leave this place.
Where do I go?
Find something else. Away from here. Away and away and away. And it sounds like Barabel in that moment. Look, she pulls out this cloak and she
I don't want to be away from you.
fastens it around your neck as you're talking. I made this when I was just your age. It's not very well made, but it always kept me warm. It'll keep you
Don't
warm.
send
no
me
matter
away.
where you
Can't
go.
you talk him down? Can't
My
you talk
love.
him down again like you did last time?
My love will follow you wherever you go. Make haste, little nightingale. Head south. Never look back. She reaches to her neck and she takes off this scarf. It's yellow and worn, but beautiful and something that she has always cherished, and she unties it. She ties it around your neck. Maybe one day I'll see you again, dear. In a different time. I love you.
I love you.
She reaches forward and kisses your forehead. And then she gets up. She gathers her things. And she takes one long look at you. And then she recedes back into the forest and heads back towards town. And that's where we will pause on this scene and fade to black. Huon, this job was meant to be clean and simple. Merrick had said as much. His voice was low and precise as always, careful tone reserved for routine contracts, and a sizable fee. The work was important, he said. Tying up a loose end for a wealthy merchant, paid in advance, clean and simple. Turns out, not the case. You watch the bathhouse from across the alley top, atop an adjacent building. The city of Har comes alive at night. And the Crown Ward is no different, aside from the cleaner air and the more well-to-do clientele, the heavier clatter of coin. Near the Lotus Blossom, this bathhouse, the air is damp and smells faintly of lavender. The third floor apartment, just like you were told by Merrick, dimly lit. Inside there is a loose end that you mean to tie. I would like you, Huon, to tell me how will you approach this place and gain entrance to this third floor apartment?
Given his proclivities and his vices, how familiar is Huon with this bathhouse?
Probably not a client of this particular bathhouse because we are in the Crown District or the Crown Ward, and this is sort of the well-to-do bathhouse. But you know what goes on here. You know the kind of people that come here, nobles, the kind that you find so much pleasure in dealing with on a regular basis.
What's the Mock's name? Do I have her name?
The name was never given to you.
Never
Just that
given.
they would be alone in a third floor apartment at this hour.
Shit.
That's all you know.
Right then. We're going to do it the hard way. I'm going to go ahead and make my way along the rooftops and see if I can, if it's third floor, how many floors does this bathhouse have?
You're on top of a third floor building next to a third floor bathhouse. As you give me a wisdom check real quick. This is going to be a normal check. 12 is actually, we'll make this easy. It's going to be 9 as your target.
9 is the target.
And you know what? You have advantage because you're a thief. This is what you do.
I got a 12.
Okay.
And a 10. So 12.
All right. Successful. You look and there is a small gap between the buildings. There's an alley between them. There is on that third level and part of that apartment space is a balcony. And you can see that the balcony is open. There are some maybe silk curtains that are just sort of like blowing in the night breeze. It is open and almost inviting you in.
I know nothing about the target other than they're supposed to be the only one in this room at this time. Yes?
That's right. Yep.
Okay. Then I'm going to make my way to the little, whether it be little scaffold or ledge or whatever there is in front of that window. I'll observe for a while to see if I can see anybody first, and then I'll make my way there.
It's dim inside. There's maybe a small candle burning, maybe a lantern burning. You don't see any people from your perch atop the adjacent building, and when you make the leap to gain access like a cat onto the balcony, well, give me a dexterity check for this. This will be we'll call this a normal check for you since you are a thief and murderous scoundrel.
18.
Oh yeah, like a cat, you land quietly on this balcony. And you wait for a moment to see what you can see, but you see nothing other than this dimly lit room.
Okay. I see nothing. Do I hear anything?
You hear nothing.
Okay. Then I will very quietly slip into the room since the window is open.
Okay. Give me a dexterity check for sneaking about. As a thief, you get advantage on this.
Yes.
A target is going to be a 12 normal check.
Okay. That's a 18, 21.
Yes, like a shadow yourself. You slip inside the apartment. You notice a couple things. Clothes are neatly folded atop a crate that serves as a table at the side of this room. It's nice in here. There's a nice like canopy bed, that sort of thing. It's unmade. But it's not opulent by any stretch of the imagination. Looks like a place where you might spend an hour or two, then go about your way. There's no barricade. There's no signs of panic. There's no weapons raised at your entrance, but you're quiet. But it seems wrong. The first thing is that, well, there's many things perhaps that seemed wrong about this. But the most immediate one is that when you enter the room and look towards the table and dining area, there is a woman sitting at the table. Beautiful, if not simple. She sits at the table, her hands, and she's sort of like facing you. You can see her hands are folded over an expectant stomach. Not cradling it, just resting there. Like someone who's already accepted her fate. She looks up when you enter. Somehow she knew you were there. Her eyes sharp, despite the hour. Not surprised. He said he'd take care of me, she says quietly. I guess this is what taking care of me means.
Fucking Merrick. Fuck you, Merrick.
Don't bother
Lady?
pretending you didn't know. If they sent you, they knew.
No, they sent me. Problem is, I didn't know. What's your name?
Does it matter?
Yes, it does. What's your name?
Elise.
Right, Elise.
If you're going to do it quick.
Oh,
But know that it's not just one life you take. And she kind of reaches down and sort of gestures towards her stomach that you can now see is laden with an unborn child.
look back towards the open window and you'll, fuck you, Merrick. You son of a bitch. And I turn around and I walk over to her with my hands out like this, so that she sees I don't have any weapons on me.
She doesn't seem like nervous or scared. It's almost like she's very practical in the approach to what's happening here. Like she was expecting this to happen somehow.
Elise, what do you owe on your contract?
More than you have, it would appear.
And you can tell this how exactly?
I've been around for a while.
Oh,
I've
I
seen
see.
many men.
Oh, I see. Right, right. Just how much? How much?
She reaches up over to a table and pulls this ledger out, and she looks at it and she says, I've been working this for quite a while. 235 gold pieces.
235 gold pieces.
Like I said, more than you have.
How much is my cut for this job?
You're getting paid 100 gold pieces for this.
100 gold pieces.
Yeah, this is a pretty significant payout. Loves to feel generous, but hates the consequences, him.
At least I got a little deal for you. Do you have any place to go from here?
Not here in Har, no.
Anywhere else?
I have family in Griffin Springs.
How far away is that?
You would know that that's maybe a 2-day journey on foot, probably a day's journey on horseback to the west, towards the Darkwood Forest. It's interesting. You hear Merrick's voice in your head at this moment as you're sort of like thinking these things through, and you hear his voice say, "You don't get to choose which contracts matter." You also hear another voice in your head. It's an older voice, a woman's voice, almost as if she's crying. No one should have to sell their child.
Fuck you, Merrick. All right, Elise. This is what we're going to do. We're going to get you out of here. I take it you know this place pretty well? Not my usual haunt.
No, I see. What is it then?
What's what?
What's this plan of yours?
Look, I'm not going to kill you.
Don't intend to kill me, then you must have a different plan.
Well, I'm making it up as I go along now, aren't I?
Well, be quick about it then.
Why?
If
you
you don't
expecting
finish
someone
the
else?
job, you don't think someone else will come after you?
No, I'm sure they will. Fucking Merrick. All right then. I look down the 3 flights down. Is there any way to get her down safely, or do we need to go down the stairs on the inside of the building?
What do you have in your burglar's pack? Do you have rope? I bet you do. You
I
have
would
rope.
imagine I have rope. Yeah.
Yeah, you do have rope.
All right, Elise. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna tie us rope off right here. Find a good point to do so, and we're gonna lower you out, and we're gonna get you out of the city. We're gonna do it tonight, and then I'm gonna kill that son of a bitch. Not Merrick. You don't know who Merrick is.
I don't want to know who these people are.
No,
The son of a bitch you're talking about, Lord Albrecht?
Lord Albrecht, that son of a bitch. Yep.
when you do it, tell him that I giggled at the idea.
It's good. It's good to hear. Do I know where he lives, or is there information?
It's something you could figure it out. She probably doesn't know where he lives,
Okay.
But she does go on to reveal that when it was discovered that she was pregnant with his child, at first he was very helpful with kind of getting her set up, and then something changed, and he no longer came to visit her, and he hasn't visited her for like a week or two, and so she has been sort of like expecting that something had gone wrong, and you know that it certainly has. But yes, you are able to with your means as someone who has operated in the city of Har to get her to a location. How do you intend to get her out of town? Like, what's your plan there?
Well,
You're going to procure transport, or?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to rent a carriage and get her to an inn out of the city, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Yeah. You can do all that. It takes most of the night to get this squared away, but eventually you have her sort of like setting off with this small merchant caravan that's leaving town. It's the early morning at this point. The sun is just coming up over the city of Har, and it's foggy, and it's like this sort of like pale light that is coming up over the horizon. She turns to you and she says, "Thank you for your mercy."
Yeah, no thanks necessary. Just get yourself away. I'll give her 5 gold, and like if things go right, I have a bit more. We'll set you off on your way.
She accepts your gold, and then she opens up a coin purse, and she reaches in and she pulls out 5 more gold, and she hands the 10 gold back to you and says, "For the trouble." And then off the carriage starts to take off at that point, and that is the last time that you see this woman as the morning sun begins to rise over the city. What are you going to do now? You know, you have gathered information on where Lord Albrecht is, where he lives.
Huon, for the first time and probably a long time, is shaking, both with anger and also with nerves, because this did not go the way he expected, and the cat's paws don't take kindly to failed jobs. But if they're going to do me, I'm going to do Albrecht first. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go to his house.
Oh shit! Okay. Okay, so you make your way to this opulent townhome in the Crown District, and a couple of things. There is some fairly tight security on this place. It is a walled villa. So to avoid detection and gain access, I would like you to roll a dexterity check. This will be a normal check, 12. You get advantage as your thieving skills come into play here.
Okay, that's advantage. That's 15.
A 15. Okay. Yeah. That is a success. You enter the estate undetected, climbing over the wall, dropping down again, just like the cat that you are. And you make your way into the estate, finding your way, crawling up, scaling up the side of the building, again through an open window, and you find yourself in this just gorgeous sitting room. There is the smell of pipe smoke, and you see a man standing with his back to you at a desk, kind of like rifling through some papers.
Does he look like a bourgeois fancy pants that I'm looking for?
This guy does. He sure does.
Absolutely. All right.
Yeah.
I'm looking around the way he's dressed. It doesn't even matter if it's him. I think it is, but Huon is so pissed off and maybe getting a little sloppy, but he's going to unleash Beulah from around his sash and try to nail him from where I am.
You're going to do a backstab. You're going to do a backstab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I love it. Go ahead and make this attack. They are unaware, so I'm going to go ahead and say you have advantage on this attack. Backstab. This is what backstab looks like.
2 20s.
Natural 20s?
2.
Oh my God. He really wants this guy dead. Wow. Okay. All right. Very cool. Very fucking cool. All right. So you can roll the damage twice, or you can roll the damage and double it, whichever you prefer. You just have to tell me beforehand.
All
With a
right.
crit.
And just to be sure that I'm doing everything right, I get an additional dice for backstab.
Additional damage
However,
dice. Yep.
yes. However, I also, because I have backstab, I also get additional dice equal to half my level.
That's right. And you're level 3. And it's rounded down. So you get 2 extra dice.
2 extra dice.
Yep. Very
Times
nice,
2?
dude.
Times 2, yeah.
All of it. Yeah. Roll it all and then multiply it by 2.
Okay. Cool.
This guy's toast.
That is 13 times 2.
26 points of damage. Describe for us how, with this weapon, which is very unique, how you kill Lord Albrecht.
So Huon has a weapon called a razor chain, and it is a 10-ish foot long chain with a straight blade on one end and a curved blade on the other. The curved blade is very good for throwing and catching things in a swing. So that's what I'm going to use, is that end. And it's usually wrapped around, hidden by a sash around my waist. And I slowly take it out and just give it a flick right towards his neck, so that the curved blade part swings across his jugular.
Oh my God. Yeah. Just
Quick.
Slicing him open. No sound. He never saw it coming. And he bleeds out in a moment and drops onto the table, bleeding all over whatever, important papers that he had, this bastard, bleeding everywhere all over the place. And at that moment, the doors open up, three doors open, and in march at least a dozen Night's Watch. They come in with spears and blades, and you see walking in from behind them, Merrick. And he looks at you and says,
Merrick.
"You don't get to choose which contracts matter, you bastard."
You fucking coward.
And as you say that, you are clubbed over the back of the head with a blackjack, and everything goes dark.
Right.
Now, days or maybe weeks later, you find yourself sitting on the cold stone of a dungeon cell. The air is damp, stale, threaded with despair. Somewhere there's water dripping, just that annoying drip of water. The rattle of keys rouses you from your boredom. You hear the sound of boots, measured, disciplined, not night watch. These men know how to march in formation. Torchlight illuminates as they come closer. The keys rattle into the locking mechanism. The cell door opens. 5 more minutes,
Mom. 5 more minutes.
As you say this, the cell door opens and you see that 6 guards fill the corridor behind the jailer. Their armor, as you are taking note of this immediately, like what am I up against? Sizing them up kind of thing. They look professional. But their armor is worn with use. They don't look like ornaments. They look like tough, capable men, professional. And you think to yourself, it's a little bit of overkill for a cutthroat.
Well. What do you kettleheads want?
2 servants hurry in behind them, pushing past them and into the room. Eyes are downcast. They're moving quickly. You can tell that they're maybe afraid a little bit. One of them carries a bundle of fresh clothing, sets it down on the bench next to you. The other brings 2 wash buckets that slosh around and sets them down. A towel is draped neatly over the rim.
Much appreciated, Percy. Much appreciated. I'll take the eggs Benedict, if you would. That'd be great.
One of the guards steps forward.
And some toast. Make sure it's not burned.
And he says, with no malice in his voice, but no kindness either, he says, "Wash yourself. The Monarch of Har has
Fuck you, wash yourself."
He steps up and just clubs you over the head, and you go black. Everything goes black again. And that's where we will end the scene. I love this Huon, such a bastard, so lovely. Hey, okay, this is where we're going to take a break because I'm sweaty and I need to get some water. So thank you guys. We will be back in a couple of minutes to dive back into the rest of this kickoff session to these Withered Roots. They say there was a time, long before memory grew clouded, when Nyssathra stood unmarred by doubt and united in devotion to the gods of law. Scholars of that era named it the Second Age, an age heralded by the arrival of the divine gifts to the realm. To 7 great tribes were bestowed knowledge, technology, magic, and the legacy of prosperity. In return, the people of Nyssathra offered adoration, worship, and sacrifice to the gods of law. From these tribes rose 7 royal houses, and the lands were bestowed accordingly. Roads were laid, keeps were raised, the wild lands were tamed. The 7 monarchs grew powerful, reflected in the regent oaks, which stood virile within their palaces, living proof of the monarch's divine right. Their roots ran deep, their canopies spread wide, their leaves remained evergreen. So long as the regent oaks flourished, so too did Nyssathra herself. But ages do not remain kind, and history is often recorded by those who rule. But let it be known that beneath the fertile fields of Nyssathra lie truths long buried, too old, too cruel, and too carefully forgotten to be spoken aloud. As the promise of this second age waned, the favor of the gods grew fickle. Once a realm of law and grandeur, Nyssathra had fallen to chaos and ruin. The common folk struggled to survive in the aftermath of the Great War, its century-long conflict, tearing the royal houses asunder, fallen, destroyed, withered. Now in the common year 327, the realm stands perched at the precipice of revolution. The achievements of men have crumbled. Engines of arcane technologies lie broken, their secrets lost to time. Magic has waned. Arcanists, mages, and priests are no longer trusted as guides, but watched with fear. Amidst the political turmoil, a vengeful nature has reclaimed Nyssathra's wildscape. Forests encroach where fields once lay. Roads vanish beneath bramble and thorn. Many blame the fairy folk and druids of the wood for the rewilding of dangerous places and the return of monsters, long thought forgotten. The royal houses have withered beneath their regent oaks, which now stand as hollow relics of a failed history, trunks split and lifeless, the age of hope and prosperity having reached its end, as generations of complacency served only to place the realm in grave danger. The monarchs are all dead, all save one, weary, regretful, and without an heir. The last crown weighs heavy, daunted by the knowledge that silence and inaction may have cost the realm far more than any war ever could. But here in Nyssathra, the world mourns its past glories. Here in Nyssathra, hope is little more than cruel jest. We return to our story, my friends, and we find ourselves in the throne room. Well, beyond the guarded gatehouse, I should say. Beyond the guarded gatehouse, within the ancient palace walls, spread the boughs of Nyssathra's last regent oak. Though broken, withered, and pale, this ancient tree stands as a symbol, the last breath of a lost age. Deeper yet, we see a royal chamber of Har, vast as it is, and at one time it would have been described as grand. You pass beneath the stone pillars that rise to support a high ribbed ceiling, where banners once hung in proud ranks. Only a few still remain, threadbare and worn, the sigil of Har the most prominent among them, the crowned oak still visible, despite frayed stitching and the stain of wood smoke. Braziers burn softly, illuminating chipped granite and web-like cracks hidden amongst the stonework. You've got tall windows of clouded glass, allowing gray filtered light. Attendants linger in the shadows, quiet, respectful. Nothing here is neglected, nothing is broken, and yet the room feels like a place waiting, not for a coronation, but for an ending. At the far end of this hall, atop a stone dais, sits the throne, carved from ancient dark wood oak and reinforced with iron. It was built to endure. And atop this throne sits a weary man who wears the weight of generations upon his shoulders, the last monarch, the end of Har's bloodline, the steward of forgotten promises, the weight of all that significance. And despite it all, it's just a man upon a chair. Lord Wilfred. Shevren, you are the first to be summoned to the chamber of the monarch, accompanied by a man that you know by reputation, perhaps have served with, a man by the name of General Osmond Trask. He guides you in, not with words, but with a gesture. As the two of you approach the throne, you pay attention to his lead. You've never been before the monarch before. This is a strange place to be. The two of you approach and he bows. My lord, as you have requested, I have brought Kingsman Allister to your presence. One of the best kingsmen I've had the honor of serving with, my lord. The king sort of looks up. The task that I need you for requires more than just a kingsman. Tell me, Shevren Allister, is it true, the capture of the Covenant cell? Tell me of these deeds.
My lord, yes, it is true. We have captured and broken up several cells in recent days and weeks. They continue, it seems, to anchor themselves, but we are diligent in rooting them out. Most recently, we were able to capture several insurgents, and others are no longer in the mix, if you understand what I mean, my lord.
Indeed, I do. These are trying times for Har, for the people. They are suffering and confused. This has not been lost on me. There is more at work than just insurgency. Well, nevertheless, a kingsman will not do. General Trask. He looks to you. Then he looks back at the Lord Wilfred, the monarch, and steps forward, drawing his sword from its scabbard, holding the blade and offering the hilt to the king. He looks over at you and says, "Kneel."
I do quickly.
You drop to your knees and the king pulls himself up. Even though he's old and looks frail, in this moment he has a virility to him, a foundation of pride, perhaps, or maybe it's the dire situation that everything has been found in. But he steps forward, steps down the stairs, and takes the hilt of the sword and says, "Yes, more than a kingsman, I need a knight. I need a man who will stand not for Har alone, but for Nyssathra and for the future of the people. Are you that man, Shevren Allister?"
I am, my lord. There is no question in my heart, and my fealty to the House of Har and to Nyssathra is flowing in my veins as my motherland.
He takes the sword and he ceremoniously touches it to your shoulders, and he says, "By the divine power vested in me by the gods of law, I decree you now, Sir Shevren Allister, Knight of Har. You may rise."
I stand and cross my arm and bow again.
The monarch looks at you with a more personal sort of gaze. "This will not be easy for you, Shevren, and your sacrifice in this station will do much for the people. My time here is at an end nearly, but there can be more. There has to be more." He gestures to one of the attendants and he makes his way back up to the throne, sitting back down. And one of them comes forward and unwraps this oilskin wrapped morning star, this gleaming, beautiful morning star. You immediately recognize it, although you've never seen it before. The dream that you had before the raid on the Covenant cell, the morning star that was held high in the defense of Carrion Keep. It's that same morning star. This was my father's weapon during the Great War. I entrust it to you, Sir Allister. The attendant gestures. My father Roland wielded this upon the battlefield, died with it in his hand. I have no use for it, but its power is needed.
You honor me beyond words, my lord. But be assured that I will take my oath to my grave if necessary and defend Nyssathra with my life. And the memory of you and your father central in my breast.
He nods approvingly at your response as you take the morning star from the attendant. It's light, even though it's powerful. You can feel that it crackles with energy almost as you touch it. You will be tasked to lead a fellowship of strange companions, to say the least. But it is critical. Your mission will be dangerous, and I will brief you on this in a moment, but I need you to know that much of what comes rests on your shoulders.
Yes. Yes, Lord. I'm going to glance furtively at Trask, too, just like trying to determine how much of this might be a dream, because it's feeling very uncanny.
Oh, as you look over at Trask, his eyes are, he like looks at you with wide eyes like, holy shit. What?
Okay. It tracks.
Like, yeah, he didn't know any of this was happening. The monarch, Lord Wilfred, gestures again to the attendants, and they rush to the doors and open the doors, and you see this is when Florence and Ziva are brought in, escorting. You have been, since you've arrived at the palace, been treated with good food, drinks. You've been given a place to sit that's very comfortable and things of this nature. Unexpected perhaps for Florence, possibly expected for Ziva, given your station and your duty. But yes, the attendants who have been kind of with you the entire time of your entry into the palace bring you forward like, now's the time. Now's the time. Forward. Come.
Right, yeah.
Ziva would walk forward at a respectful distance, sort of like give a a bow and wait.
We're in the room with everybody now.
Yeah, you're walking like through this kind of long, broad hall. It's a like the throne room. As you're walking down, you can hear the clippity clop of your wooden shoes, and as you're following these attendants, and Ziva kind of stops at a respectful distance, and the king says, "Please come forward."
Ziva nods and sort of scurries forward.
He immediately recognizes you as a priest of Morvanyr and says, yes, I am happy that the Veil Warden has seen fit to send a representative at my request. What is your name?
Ziva Dahril, your majesty.
Yes, Ziva. Yes. Please, if there's anything that you need in the execution of your duty here, do not hesitate to ask. As he's speaking this, you kind of notice the frailty. You can pick up on some of these things with instinct. There's a bit of a tremor almost in his voice.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I have been treated very well. I'm sure there's nothing I could possibly want. But of course, to understand what it is you require of the priests of Morvanyr, sire.
Yes, of course. In good time, Ziva Dahril of Morvanyr. And you. He looks over at you, Florence.
Hello, my lord. Oblivious to the nuances of courtly manners, she clip-clops with her wooden clogs all the way up to him, unless she is like stopped. Her hands are kind of in her robes.
I think like the chamber guards like step forward, but the king kind of waves a hand to kind of hold them back for a minute. He says, "And you, Havathrin, is it?"
What was that?
Your name is Havathrin, is it not?
Yes.
Very good. I'm not sure. This is an odd thing to say, but I have seen a vision of you.
Is that so?
It is so. Give me a quick, yeah, definitely. Give me a quick intelligence check.
Okay.
We'll call this easy. So 9 is your target.
Ooh, it doesn't matter. That's a 2 on the dice.
Okay, yeah. The name Havathrin does not ring a bell immediately to you.
She has no idea what he's talking about.
Right.
She's just going with it because he's the king.
Yep. A vision that you may find silly to think of it, but...
My lord, you would not believe the things I have heard.
I'm sure that we have much to speak of in those matters. I would like to introduce you to Sir Shevren Allister, who will be in charge of this expedition. Of course, I haven't told you any reason why you're here, have I? Well, we wait upon another member of your party to arrive. General Trask, what is the delay? Well, sir, he gave us a bit of a trouble in the dungeon, and we knocked him out cold. This will not do. This will not do at all. We are about to... Very well.
Florence flashes a look to Ziva.
Ziva's looking back like, of course, then she stops and like takes in all of Florence's just like, I don't know about this either. I don't know what this is. Him, I get, like Shevren. It's like that I understand. That's normal for me. This is weird. This is all weird.
The king turns back and says, Sir Shevren will indeed be leading this expedition. Shevren, and you kind of turn and see this knightly figure.
I nod.
How do you do?
I nod in the direction of the women. I look at Ziva. Like acknowledging,
Yes, acknowledge, yes.
Perhaps
While we wait, I had something for
wine.
you. She procures a clay vial that's kind of rough looking, but with a wooden stopper, and she extends it out to the king.
One of his attendants comes up and takes it from you. Meanwhile, other attendants are getting pitchers of wine and goblets and bringing them out and handing you each a goblet should you want it. He takes the little clay vial and what is this, dear?
Well, it's a gift. I've heard that it's customary to offer gifts to those who offer you such elaborate food and shelter. That is hawthorn syrup, my lord.
Let me see it. And the attendant comes up and bows and hands him the little vial. And would you drink it then, or rub it on sore parts of the body?
Add it to your drink. It will strengthen your heart.
He pops the cork off and just, what does it smell like when he takes it?
There, like any kind of red berry. There's like a tartness to the smell.
Very kind of you, as he puts the stopper back in and hands it back to the attendant. Well,
don't say that just yet. You haven't tasted it yet. It's quite bitter.
For another time, perhaps. Do any of you take goblets of wine as they bring them out?
I sure.
Yes.
Okay.
She'll come around.
It's a matter of ceremony at a minimum.
Mm-hmm. He definitely takes one, the king, and he starts to sip it. General Trask does not. The guards are not offered. It's just the three of you at this point. And as you're standing there,
I do lean into Trask and I say, "What is with the peasant woman?"
I know as little as you do, Sir Allister.
Oh, Captain, it's no need to be so formal.
He just kind of laughs, and then he stands at attention again, as is his
Was
wont.
it general? Was it general? I'm
it's
sorry.
general. Yeah, general. Trask.
Yeah. Better get my shit straight.
Yeah, you're a knight now, pal. Okay, so at this point, another attendant runs in and whispers to Trask, and Trask says, "Sir, the Catsclaw individual is here." "Very well, send them in, please, and be a bit more kind." He looks at you, Shevren, as he just kind of I don't know. The doors open and you hear the rattle of chains and manacles and shackles as Huon is escorted into the chamber. Just rattle, clatter, and finally you look back and you see this man who's in clean clothes is washed, and the king looks down and says, "This will not do. Please. This is not necessary. Release the man." And an attendant walks up, and a guard comes over, and they kind of shrug and unlock the manacles and take them off of you, Huon. And then you hold out your hands, and they do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And the man that clubbed you over the head looks at you and says, "Sorry about that." And he takes the manacles and stands off to the side as you come forward. "And you, I apologize for the rough treatment. Is it Huon? Is that it?"
It's pronounced Huon.
Huon.
Huon has been saving something ever since he found out that he was going to be meeting somebody important. And at this point, Huon is going to release the biggest fart, the loudest and longest fart that he's been saving up since his time he got clocked over the head in the dungeon. And I'm going to sort of
drink wine.
Yeah. I'm going to sort of
seems the winds are changing in favor of the common folk.
Sort of adjust myself so my posterior is facing the guy who knocked me out. And then I'll go, oh, sorry, my lord. It looks like the gruel didn't agree with my guts. Sorry about that.
No. Wine and some of the fruits, please. And attendants rush over. One hands you a goblet. It looks like the most expensive goblet you've ever seen. Another one comes over and pours some really beautiful red wine in it. The bouquet is just like almost knocks you off your feet. Someone else comes over with a platter of some berry-like fruits.
I'll take some fruits. Yeah.
We have all assembled here now, finally. Tell me, Huon.
Huon. There you go.
Tell me, you fancy yourself a bit of a doer of things being done.
For the price.
How many noblemen have you killed? He's
How
being
much time
very familiar with you at this point.
Sure. How much time you got? Oh, sorry. Looks like I wasn't quite done. I don't know. More than my fingers and toes.
And this affiliation of yours, the cat's paws, is it?
Well, affiliation might be too strong of a word now.
Indeed, it may.
Yeah. Fucking
seems to me is that you may be on the wrong side of a assassin's guild here in Har.
Maybe they're on the wrong side.
Indeed, I believe them to be. You know,
does that make you the right side, sir? Sire? Your Majesty, your Radiance, whatever. What's the flavor today? What are we calling you?
You can call me Lord Wilfred.
Lord Wilfred. All right.
There's no
Lord
right
Huon.
and wrong. That is far too simple of a concept. Shades of gray, much like the skies over the realm.
An interesting opinion for one of your station.
I have been here quite a long time, Hevethrin, quite a long time indeed. I have seen noblemen come and go. I have seen wealth gained and lost, love gained and lost, all of it. Not for right or for wrong, for law. I was a barrister once when I was younger. I didn't kill the noblemen who were enacting malfeasance upon their workers, the people of the community, but I prosecuted them nonetheless, and many of them ended up in prison for their ill deeds. I'm not like you, but I share your sensibilities, shall we say. Huon.
You share my sensibilities, do you?
Perhaps. Perhaps.
How'd you come to be sitting on that fancy chair up there?
I think you know the answer to that.
Your daddy gave it to it, yes?
Indeed. The blood of the royal houses flows within me. It was not my decision nor my want, but it was my duty.
Does that make you better than us?
Only if you think so.
No, well, I'm not the one in the fancy chair.
It certainly makes me more powerful than you, but better? No, I don't think so. You are far too young to remember, but the great wars were fought over squabbling rich men over the last scraps of a dying age. No, there is no right and there is no better. It is just what it is. I do think perhaps after a time we may have some interesting conversations of station and privilege and duty and even morality. But that perhaps is for a different time, for I need you all. Nyssathra needs you all. I have entrusted Sir Allister here to lead a party should you seek to be part of it for an observance by the church, for the visions of Athrin that I had of you and some role you may play in this that I know not. And you, the murder of noblemen, but a code nonetheless, or so we've been told. Tell me, what is this code of yours?
They don't do children. They don't do young ladies.
What do you do for them? Perhaps that is a better question.
I'll get rid of fancy pants, bourgeois, people that probably you've hosted more than a few times.
Perhaps.
Those people do nothing to add to those people's lives.
I do not disagree with you.
Well then, we might have something in common after all.
Perhaps. Perhaps similar ends and ideals, but quite different means, no doubt. Well, there is then the matter at hand. Should you aid us in this task, we need a good bladesman to accompany, to be the eyes and ears, and, well, someone who can find their way into the most unlikely of places. All of your foul deeds shall be wiped clean from the slate. The law will no longer acknowledge any of them. You should be rewarded with enough to start over, perhaps, and do something good for the children and the women.
How much we talking?
More than you'll ever imagine.
I don't know. I can imagine a lot.
I imagine you can. Well, what is it then? Will you take this on? Do something for the realm?
Are you talking to me?
I'm
Or all
talking
of
to
us?
you and to the rest of you. I already know that my loyal knight has dedicated themselves. I imagine the church of Morvanyr is careful to identify what's actually at play here, but should you be willing, I will provide you with the information you need. It is grave.
Well,
Of course, the church is willing and able to do whatever it is you ask of us, and myself as the representative of the Church of Morvanyr shall do what it is that you require of us. I can't imagine what service I could provide that would also require a murderous thief, though, to be part of it.
Or a witch. No disrespect
Now.
intended.
Flatterers prefer the word spinster, my lord.
You're too young to be a spinster.
There are many things that are unclear to all of us.
somebody's going to wake up some more warts than he had when he went to bed.
Florence procures from her belt a chicken egg.
Oh, thanks.
She puts it in her mouth and she crunches it and begins to chew it. Like, a little bit of yolk dribbles out and she kind of like...
Yeah.
I'm in.
Very well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
And
to
I-
you, I guess, he says, looking at you, Huon.
Huon looks over at Florence, not knowing her name yet. Just he's her
Abernathy,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Bathrin, yeah.
I like her. All right, so you're saying I avoid the hangsman's noose, get some gold enough to take care of myself for the rest of my life, and I get to kill something. Is that what you're saying?
You get to do something good for the realm of Nyssathra. Yes, all of that is true. Thank you, Doc Shoulder, for the generous donation.
Thank you, Dr. Shoulder.
Thank you, Doc Shoulder.
I'll take you off my list, Doc Shoulder.
Is it
All right,
settled then?
All right.
Very well.
Fine.
If I may, my lord, Huon, if you doubt, please make it known now. If you have doubts at all, because I can't use your help if you're not committed.
I don't know what I'm committing to.
Yeah, when are we skipping
Committed
over the
to the-
details?
You are committed to the realm, all of you. The priestess understands that.
The realm's going tits up. What am I committing to? Something that's
The
going to be
realm will
gone next year.
exist tomorrow and the day after. And what we make of it is what will make a difference. If
Shevren,
you
please.
wish, my lord.
The realm needs you, and it is true that you are being asked to do something quite dangerous, and I will tell you what that is. But we cannot take for granted that the realm will be here on the morrow.
Exactly like I said.
I will not pretend strength where there is none. My death draws near, as you can plainly see it. I feel it in my bones and in the silence of the gods. He looks over at you, Ziva, when he says this. I should have done more with my station, it's true, and what becomes of Nyssathra after I'm gone, I know not. You can see his kind of jaw tightens. You get a sense that he holds some shame for something that he hasn't done. From the corner of the kingdom come the same reports. A sinister darkness creeping across Nyssathra. Not merely night or shadow, but something hungry, ravenous, something aware of itself. The people have begun to name it. They refer to it as Shadowdark. At this point, he pulls himself to his feet. Ugh. One of his manservants rushes forward to take his arm. He looks a little bit more frail as he's getting into this sort of situation where his self-doubt has sort of washed over him. He steps down from the dais and approaches this broad wooden table, and he gestures. Another servant brings forward a big map and unfurls it. It's stained and marked and annotated by many hands, and he gestures for you to approach the table.
Clomping near.
I will loom.
Let's do this. Let's bring up the map.
Ooh.
How about that?
Ooh.
Okay, so here we are in Har. If you're looking at the screen, or if you're looking at the Owlbear Rodeo, and he mentions a few things. He talks about how. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. He points to several locations on the map. First one is Midnight Grove, which is right over here in this part of the map, over in the Darkwood Forest. Midnight Grove right here. And then he calls out the names as he's pointing. Then he mentions the Nephalon Crater, which is to the north here, just north of Har, past the Carrion Keep and in the fields where the massive battle had been waged during the Great War. And then he points to a spot farther north, the Talaweep March. Up here. And then finally he goes closer back down to Har, and he points at a place called the Mines of Glavoon, which are just north of Brune Mill, here in the Kauser Spine Mountains. He says it gathers around places of power, it seems, old places, older than the kings, older, I fear, than the gods who claim dominion over this land, or did. And though this may not be easy, and may be heresy to your ears, priest, I believe that the gods have forsaken us. Not abandoned, forsaken. And I believe that the timing of this Shadowdark is of no coincidence. The last royal bloodline fades and evil stirs, devouring men and beast alike, transforming them into something. And if something long bound has sense that its jailers are now gone. He turns and makes his way back to the throne. gives you a moment to maybe ask any questions if you have anything.
Forgive my insolence, my lord. What is our goal here?
A good question, Havathrin. Indeed, I can see why you're here. Curious, indeed. I cannot ride out, just plainly obvious. I cannot command armies I no longer truly possess. What I can do is choose who carries my final authority. That will be you. The four of you under the leadership of Sir Allister. I mean for you to learn what this Shadowdark is. Can it be destroyed? If it can, destroy it. If it cannot, discover its source, its purpose, and its ties to our failing world. Though this priest of Morvanyr accompanies you, do not trust the gods to intervene. If salvation comes to Nyssathra, it will come from mortal hands. The royal house of Har and the blood in my veins will die. But Nyssathra must live. He starts to cough a little bit and pulls out a handkerchief.
I cheers.
What is the part you'd like me to play, my lord?
It's unclear, Havathrin, what your role is here, but it is, I feel, important nonetheless. As I mentioned, the visions, the fact that you were then spotted in the city. It's too coincidental, all of this.
Where
I'm
in the
asking
city
you
did
to
you
be
spot me? I
part of
was
this.
so careful.
Well, I have many eyes, my dear. I'm asking you to accompany this party and to do those very things that I just identified. To do what you can with the knowledge you have and your curiosity to uncover what this Shadowdark is. Destroy it. Yes. Well, someone rushes up with some water to give to him as he's sort of like kind of choking on his own phlegm a little bit. Take some water. Go ahead.
No disrespect, Your Radiance, but seeing as the realm has gone tits up and you're about halfway there yourself, I would very much. Well, then, all the more reason I'd like to request in advance.
I can tell you this. There will be supplies provided to you. But the hefty sum that you shall be rewarded with upon your return of a successful endeavor will be more than you can carry.
But what happens if you die before we get back?
How are we to know, my lord, that the powers that be won't do what they do to witches and criminals?
Perhaps the witches and criminals need to stand strong against them.
They haven't gotten me yet. Don't worry about it.
We actually arrested you earlier, says one of the guardsmen under his breath.
Now you're releasing me, all right? So it looks like I'm on.
With your leave, my lord, and I'll turn to Florence and Huon. If I can have your allegiance in succeeding this mission, I will represent the kingdom upon my return on your behalf.
As will I, says the general. We will enact the king's promises as if they were our own.
Then it would appear that I am at your disposal, my lord.
I don't know. I've known lots of nobles and bourgeois that make fancy promises and then break them just as easily.
That's why I'm going out with you, Huon.
Well, yes, but do you have my gold?
The kingdom has the gold.
Exactly my point. We're going to be.
And I am the key to the kingdom as far as you're concerned.
Please.
That's quite a title.
Gentlemen, should you have concerns and hesitancies, sleep on it. That's all I ask. And tomorrow you can make your decision if you wish to continue and help these three and help Nyssathra, which I sincerely hope you do. Then that shall be your decision. And if not, then you shall leave. You'll be discharged. But you will be watched within Har to ensure that you don't continue this spree. Not harassed. Nonetheless, yes, the fingers on your hands and the number of nobles you've killed that you basically told us that you've done.
Well,
you confessed to it right here in the hall.
Right. So I'm not going to the hangman's then, no matter what I say.
I wouldn't want you with me if you're not committed, Huon.
As I said, I need to take my rest. You can sleep on it if you'd like. I have rooms prepared for you and meals. You are welcome to stay in the guest rooms of the palace tonight. If you should decide to take this quest, Huon, then so be it. The others I will have you provisioned with horses and supplies. You must decide yourselves where you intend to go, but I will leave that to you to decide. And on the morrow we shall see you off. Yes.
Do you wish us to complete the circle, the cycle of locations that you have identified on the map? Before we report back.
Consider what might be best and most prudent. Each of these sites has been, how shall I say, afflicted. But more tomorrow. I grow weary, and much talk has made me thirsty for wine and perhaps a bit of the tonic. And he looks over at Grace.
I apologize.
Florence.
One quick question. The places you've identified, are the people near them and in greater danger? Is there a risk to...
Yes, priests.
I think they're fucked, pretty much, yeah.
This Shadowdark, I warn you, is evil and dangerous, and it has consumed many.
Then surely there's no time to wait. We should leave immediately. We shouldn't wait another day to start.
Priestess, is there something you can pray on to perhaps get some guidance before we leave? I know that the gods have been silent this great duration of time, so we are told, but perhaps that insight.
Just because we are no longer able to recognize the gods doesn't mean they're not there.
I agree. I agree.
They're still there, and they still protect us.
Yes. And so perhaps there is some insight to be had before we venture forth, maybe an indicator of where we should begin. Maybe this night would be a good opportunity for that, yes.
Yes, I will ask the gods where we should begin.
Very well then. And the attendants kind of gesture to you as you can see that they're kind of like helping the king as he's coughing, and he's got his handkerchief out, and there might even be like a little blood in it as they sort of whisk you down the hall and out of the throne room. At this point, it's late in the day, and those of you who are sticking around the place have been offered a wonderful place to stay. Very, very pleasant, and food to be had and that sort of thing. Even the Knight of Har has been given this sort of privilege to be in this place at this time.
Are we all still together, or are we being kind of led apart from each other?
You've been shown to like individual rooms that you'll be staying in if you choose to stay, which it sounds like you do. So, but they're all kind of like generally in a long hallway on a part of the palace grounds.
So are we
So
together in the hall?
You're in the hall right now, kind of walking towards that part of the palace. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll turn to face everyone else and say, assuming we are all in agreement, and I understand, Huon, that you may wish to take the night to decide, is there anything you wish to know of me?
Have you faced this before?
This Shadowdark?
Yes.
I've never heard of it until now.
You good with that sort of use?
I produce it more visibly. This, my friend, is a morning star. And it was just gifted to me by the king himself.
Fancy.
But yes, I'm good with it.
Second question.
Yes.
How quickly can you get some eggs Benedict to my room?
If it's a part of the deciding factor, I can arrange for that, perhaps.
Oh, most surely is.
Let me see what we can do.
Appreciate it there, Sir Fancy Pants.
I look forward to hearing your appraisal in the morning, then.
Right, and if they get a good night's sleep, much more chipper in the morning.
Thank the gods. Priestess, have you any concerns at the moment?
I must confess it was concerning to hear His Majesty speak that way of the gods. I certainly hope that it's not a reason why, an indication that lack of faith in our land is part of the reason that they might have turned from us. That he surely does not truly believe that, does he?
If I may have a moment of your time when we are done with our visitation here, but to that end, I would ask of the opinions of our other companions here, Huon, and I'm sorry I've not been able to follow exactly your...
My name is Florence. I'm not sure who the Vathran is, but when the king says something, you don't really question it. That's what I've always been taught.
Well, that we definitely agree on, but what are your opinions of the gods, old or new?
Well, I've never met any. My apologies, madam. My concern is with the land. Whatever the gods do or don't do, or feel or don't feel, I've never concerned myself much with it, as I could never separate their indifference from their praise.
And you?
Do you really want to know?
I suppose I could surmise.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it matters for this contingency.
Gods ain't done shit for me. Or have they done shit for most of the people out those castle walls? Do you know those families out there that sell their children? Did you know that? Some of them because they're greedy, some of them because they have no other choice.
Life is hard. Outside
There's
the
always a
city.
choice. There's always a choice.
Oh, yeah, choice. You could starve, yeah. You could die, yeah. It's always a choice.
I won't debate the merits of an honorable decision with you all this evening, but you've answered my question.
in investigating this, the Shadowdark, perhaps we will find answers about the gods and about the land. I am deeply invested in learning something.
The curiosity that his lordship spoke of.
Born from necessity.
I'd just like to be deeply invested.
At all.
It all gold, mostly.
Financially.
Investment, yes.
Ziva, there's something nagging at the back of your mind, thinking back to the map, viewing the map and the Monarch, pointing out these different locations. And as the others are talking about curiosities and investments, you sort of drift towards thoughts of what might be going on out there.
In Brunmill, perhaps. Yes, I get the feeling the gods will magically decide that that's the mines is where we should start.
Do you, in this moment, while this
the gods are
conversation
just going to magically decide that's where we should be starting.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So that's definitely nagging on your mind while this conversation is happening. Is there anything else that you guys want to? This is amazing. I don't want to cut it off, but we're getting close to the end of the session. So I just want to see if there's anything else that you want to talk about before you go to your bed chambers for the night.
I do just want to have a moment to speak to Ziva because I can see I'm detecting concern. And as this supposed mantle of responsibility that I'm feeling, I want to make sure that each one of my companions is, committed, like I've been leaning on Huon about. But I also, I just want to take an opportunity to speak to Ziva about concerns of the gods and the things that other people may say, and the fact that our faith must be steadfast. I feel like this is probably something that you could tell me, but I am aligned with you in the perspectives we must maintain on fealty to the gods and our assurance that they will respond when it is most essential.
I continue to trust in the gods. I would be nothing. I would have no power without them. So surely they still are here and they still answer us. The gods act through us. So surely if we're not seeing the gods around us anymore, it's our failing and our frailty that has led to this somehow. We just need to persevere and be their agents to do their will, and the gods will return.
Yes. And I will promise you this. I will persevere. You can rely on me as I rely on Korghast through honor and battle and righteousness. Let us lead these heathens that we've been assigned to accompany. And together accomplish the righteousness that our Lord has assigned us and represent.
I will do what I can, of course, to fulfill my duty and to fulfill the God's will here. And I do believe that they would want us to fight whatever evil this might be. So I'm committed to whatever needs to be done.
I just put a hand on and pat the back of your hand as if I'm 15 or 20 years older than I am. And say, very well, priestess, Pray on it, as I will, and I will see you in the morning.
Yes, I will see you in the morning, with or without our other companions.
I believe the peasant woman is committed. The scoundrel, I'm not so sure, but we'll find out.
I'm not entirely certain what benefit having him would actually bring, but
I have something in mind should it come up. But
well, one more thing to pray to the gods for wisdom on.
wisdom will lead us.
As they've split off and leaving me and Florence.
Yeah, Team Heathen needs a moment here.
Team Heathen, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Florence, it occurs to me we've got some things in common, you and I.
She cuts you off, I think, mid-sentence. She grabs your sleeve and guts in real close. She smells very strongly of black pepper. Do not leave me alone with these people.
Oh, don't worry about that. I was just about to say the same to you.
Okay, perfect.
You're not
Sorry.
supposed to be here. I'm most definitely not supposed to be here. And
would be not.
also, we both like eggs.
The yolk speaks to me, you see.
So you prefer them raw, then, do you?
Just when I need to learn something.
Right there. If I see a page walking by, we're like, young man, we'll have a dozen raw eggs delivered to our rooms, please.
Of course, sir. Raw eggs delivered right away, sir.
Along with some eggs Benedict. I don't know if the Sir Fancy Pants told you about that, but I need some eggs Benedict toast. Make sure it's not burnt. Some wine. Would you like
Yes, sir,
wine,
of course.
Florence?
Yes, please.
Oh, some wine then.
Of course. Yes, wine,
crabs.
eggs Benedict, and a dozen raw eggs.
Indeed. Be quick,
They're
of course.
very important. The supplies.
Yes,
The quicker
course,
you
of
are,
course.
the
Yes,
more
ma'am.
of these you
Yes,
get.
ma'am.
And I hold up a gold coin.
Thank you, sir. Very generous, sir. Very kind. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes. And then he takes off running down the hall.
It's really something, isn't it?
Good old Prudence. This is, I can see the appeal.
How quickly things change.
It's it's not
To
to
get
say
what
it's
you need
right.
without doing a thing.
Not to say it right. That's how you get corrupted. What
I
can
can feel the corruption taking root as we speak. I'm
indeed?
afraid.
Why do you think you were somebody else other than your name?
He said something about a vision. I would like to speak with him, if possible, though I suspect we might hurry out of here. There is
Well-
something to those.
I'm sure there are. I have had quite a few visions myself.
Of shimmering seas of gold, I'm sure.
Amongst other things. Looking forward to sharing some eggs with you, and between you and me,
Mhm.
I'm fucked. I'm fucked if I leave this castle and stay in the city. Looks like the old man's not going to hang me, but I can't say the same for my ex-companions. And I take out as we get to the rooms, I take out my satchel, a long sheaf of paper, and you see that it's a list. And at the top of the list are a bunch of noblemen, and including the king's name. And I put a question mark next to his name. I write a new name on there, Merrick, and then I seal it up. I say,
A to-do list of sorts.
of sorts, yeah, you could say. Problem is, everybody who paid me to do that sort of thing is probably looking for my ass. So I'm going to take advantage of the night. Going to stuff myself, take as many pewter mugs as I can, and and then in the morning, I guess we'll go along with these two, and you won't be alone with them.
Good, because I'm fucked too. I'm a unlicensed, wicked magic user from the swamps. I smell like black pepper because I shampoo my hair with it every day, and I eat raw eggs, and I'm in a very civilized place.
That's disgusting.
It makes my bones itch. So the sooner we can get out into the woods and I can resume my daily routine of smearing mud on my face to tell the future, the better. And if we learn some things about the Shadowdark along the way, all the better, because the king is right, but the king is wrong. It's not evil. It's just dangerous.
I like you, Florence. I knew something good would come of this. Right. Well,
The eggs told me that you don't mean me harm. I like you too. I will see you in the morning.
indeed. I'll let you know when the eggs get here.
Thank you.
Go into my room and jump on the bed a few times.
I love
Florence
it.
takes the longest bath of her life.
So roll in the silk sheets, take a long bath.
They bring in hot
Humidity.
water and fill the basin for you, and you feel like your beck and call is answered with the eggs Benedict arrives, the raw eggs, the cravats of wine, etc. As each
I
of
fit
you
10 raw
retires back into
inventory?
your if you have an inventory slot, certainly. You go into your rooms and you prepare yourselves for the night. I'll go around the table here quickly and see if there's anything that you would want to do before we end tonight's session with the four of you taking your rest. Let's go first to Shevren.
Yes, very quickly. I want to take advantage of the hospitality given and the quietude to reflect on my new station, but I'm also going to send a message to my mother and let her know. Mother, I've been knighted, but I have to leave quickly on my first crusade, and I'm not sure when I'll be back. But be proud of your son. Love, Shevren.
And there's a courier that twists it up and puts a bow on a little string around it, puts it into a scroll case, and says, "And where does this go, sir?"
Oh, to my home, just in the city. Just I give the address. It's got the door is half painted.
Sir,
red.
I know the neighborhood, sir. Thank you. Yes.
Very good.
Okay. Yes.
And I tip him as well.
Oh, very generous, sir. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you. And he sort of like bows and he's supplicates himself as he exits. Okay, we'll go over to Huon.
Huon.
I don't know. Huon.
Huon is going to take advantage of all the amenities at his disposal. He's also going to try to find out who. Did I hear the name of the guy who knocked me out? Which of those?
I don't think you would have heard his name. That would never would have been spoken. But he was there, and when he was taking the manacles off, he was like, "Sorry about that."
All right. If I spot a young servant boy, one of the servant boys who's bringing our stuff, I describe him to the young man. Say, do you know where the knights eat around here?
Oh, they don't eat around here. They in the barracks, sir.
In the barrack. Well, that's too bad. Right,
Is there anything else, sir?
You wouldn't by chance, and I describe the man just in case he has some sort of rank or is known to this young page.
No, sir. I'm afraid I don't.
Oh, that's too bad.
Sorry to disappoint, sir. Sorry to disappoint.
No worries. I give him a gold.
Thank you, sir. Very generous. Thank you. He
Thank
tucks it away
you.
very quickly.
And after I gorge myself, I'm going to take a long hot bath. And anything that looks valuable and portable in the room.
Yeah, you start to fill your inventory with valuables as best you can. All right. We'll go next to Florence.
Florence likewise is jumping on the bed and taking a long bath and like just all the stuff, kind of trashing the place. She's flipping through, if there's like books in here, she's flipping through them and then leaving them where they lie, like just kind of, not being very considerate, but just so enamored with the space. Is there a window in here?
Yes, absolutely.
She kind of shaking the water from her hair, pulling out a few like little pepper granules, will walk up and she'll put tea light right in the windowsill. She kneels before him. What's the nicest small thing in here?
The nicest small thing in here?
About this big.
You tell me.
A pristine white feather from one of the pillows.
Perfect.
Yeah, she takes it and she lays it in the windowsill before tea light, and kind of with her head down. It's a heavy burden to bear, carrying the rain in your throat. So I hope that this offering will please you. And may it bring about only good things. So many changes in the motion and all. And I think she leaves a cup of water in the windowsill to leave under the open sky to drink tomorrow for more good luck. And I think that's all she does. She maybe jumps on the bed a little bit more,
Sure.
and then goes to bed.
And I think you have the windows open when you're putting the down. And as you're jumping on the bed, as we sort of fade out on the scene, you look over and there's this gentle breeze that flows in through the window and carries the white feather out into the dark night of Har. And last
after it,
but not least, we'll go to Ziva.
I think Ziva legitimately starts her evening with trying to pray for, praying that the monarch of the realm sees reason and reaffirms his faith to the gods, and that these various people she's run into realize their role in caring for others and enacting the will of the gods. And then she turns to try to pray for guidance of if the gods legitimately have a preference for where they go first. But it's hard, like she doesn't get a clear answer, of course. And it keeps butting into this deep fear that she has for Brunmill. And I think eventually she sits down to begin writing a letter to send to her order to try to let them know where she will be going and that she won't be returning and that she is doing this quest for the gods and for the kingdom. But eventually, even that, she stalls out and can't concentrate. And eventually she pulls forward another blank piece of paper and just begins with, "Dear brother." And that's it.
Beautiful. All right. And the night comes to each of you in your comfort and overindulgence in some cases. Perhaps Ziva, the night is a bit more trying in terms of a restful sleep with some heavy things weighing on your mind. Shevren, maybe some doubts that are at play in your mind, but knowing your duty to Nyssathra and to the throne. And we'll say that each of you fall asleep at some point, some of you sooner than others. I would like you, as we kind of wind down the session here, I wanted to do one more thing. As you are sleeping, I would like each of you to roll a wisdom check with disadvantage.
Rude.
The DC it's a normal roll, so 12 is the difficulty. You need to meet or beat a 12 to succeed.
Nope.
I don't need to roll again. I rolled a 1.
Got an 8.
Florence, failure on that roll. Huon, failure. How about Shevren?
Nope, failure.
Okay. And Ziva?
Oh, I passed, baby.
Okay.
My one good stat. Yeah.
That is so ironic. Okay. I love it. I love it.
Let's go.
Yep. Shevren. Okay.
Wisdom 4 days. Can't do anything else. Yeah.
It's funny too, because in the middle of the night, 3 of you are woken. Huon, Florence, and Shevren. Ziva, even though sleep came difficult to you are fast asleep in the darkest depths of this restful sleep, or perhaps restless, but you nonetheless take no notice as the others hear something outside the doors of your room. The footfalls rapid of something or someone running down the hall. Perhaps the faint rattle of armor. As each of you kind of pulls yourself from bed,
And it was
you
too good to
hear
be true.
outside the door. And that, my friends, is where we will end tonight's session.
Oh, criminal.
We have come to a great point in the story to take our rest, as it were, and we will be back next week to find out what is happening in the palace.
Oh yeah. Bravo.
Time Dave goes straight to jail for doing that.
Oh,
It's fine that Ziva's going to sleep through this because it sounds like combat's going to happen and she'd be useless. So you can handle
you
this.
guys got this. That's
I'll be
amazing.
running out there in my night shirt with my new Morning Star.
Funny.
Oh yeah. Oh,
That's
you guys,
another-
thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was absolutely fantastic. That was everything I had hoped it would be. Your characters are freaking awesome. I love your characters
Love
so
this
much.
crew.
I love these characters. Everything about them. Yeah, you guys are great. Let's go around the table, and anything you want to say, I'll drop some links in the chat and stuff like that. But let's start with Grace.
Hey, thanks for having me. Super happy to come back next week. Check out Troll Lord Games. Make me look like a good social media manager. And I do poetry. If you're interested in my book, there's a link for it in chat. It's called Quiet Kid. I forgot to mention that at the front. But yeah, it's lovely hanging out with all of you. And I love this game and I love this crew.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Grace, for spending your time with us and creating such a great character. Let's go next to Rouge. Rouge, I'm so glad that you're back here for this game. This is awesome.
I am super excited to be here. Definitely expecting good fun times. So I've been Rouge. I don't really do anything on the internet, but you can check out my link tree to find things I have done on the internet, such as Misbehaved Maidens, my adult comedy a cappella band that I was in until we stopped performing in 2023. And our music is still available, though. And then some other gaming projects I've been part of, including the podcast of Cryptid Community College that was released with part of Live from the Apocalypse, which is the one other channel you can sometimes find me on, although I'm not currently in any games with them. So yeah, that's me.
We love the Live from the Apocalypse crew very much so. You guys are great. Thank you so much for your Ziva is fantastic. And I just got to say, like, developing the Morvanyr stuff, you helped so much with the prompts and questions you were asking to better understand it. And some of the stuff that you developed for this deity and the rituals and stuff is great. So very excited to have that aspect of this game. Very collaborative. Let's go next to Dungeon Mr. Ty. Ty,
Hey.
thank you so much for being here, dude.
Always a pleasure. I found a home with Guild Superior, and I really do appreciate it. I am Dungeon Mr. Ty on the socials, also Adventure Sling Productions. We are the makers of New Varden, the Earthpunk fantasy, which is not your average medieval fantasy. This is a different sort of world and different kinds of people that populate it that can do different sorts of things. Some are familiar and some not so familiar, also using the Fortunes D4 system. Also, I am currently in the process of producing the first full-length adventure for New Varden called The Mall of the Mountain. So that will hopefully be out this spring. And there's a podcast. There are 2 podcasts on the
So
website.
good.
So if you like to listen to interviews with great people like Jose, you can check those out. Also, there is episode 4 of Arc 2 of the Young Colossus live stream that we did last year now is dropping in 2 Fridays. Episode 3 just dropped this last Friday. And that's a total, I think, of 9 or 10 that are out. I don't know. I lost track. But anyway, there are multiple ways to listen to stuff going on in New Varden or to check out other things that we're doing. So I am my own social media manager, so I hope I'm also plugging the rep. I'm plugging the brand, repping the brand.
There we go.
Okay, that's enough for me, but I look forward to being back next week and to see where this goes. So thanks again.
Thank you so much. I wouldn't even think about doing this game without you. So I'm
Thank you.
glad you're available.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. And you guys go pick up New of Arden. It's absolutely fantastic. We played a ton of it on the channel here, and there's more coming later this year. So yeah, very excited about that. Thank you so much, Ty, for sharing your creativity with us. And last but not least, Jose, I love you. This character is such a bastard, and I'm so excited about it. Somehow you do a really good bastard role play. How did that happen?
I don't know. Everybody's always surprised. I don't know.
That's because you're a very awesome, sweet person. So,
thank you, Dave. I appreciate ditto. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for putting this together. Really enjoying your world that you created. And thanks for immersing us. And this crew is going to be a fun time. Looking forward to it. I do art. You can see my portfolio there in the little side thingy. I also am doing art and writing for Realms Bound, which is a collaboration with Ed Greenwood. Doing the Guide to the Dalelands right now. 4 books going to be produced this year, and then the next year 4 more books for a different region, et cetera, for who knows how many years. So that's what I'm currently doing, keeping me very busy, and as well as artwork for New of Arden for the aforementioned Mall of the Mountain adventure.
That's Jose's artwork right there too.
That is, yeah, the little logo. Excellent game, and the adventure looks like it's going to be fun just from the images that I've seen. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what's keeping me busy, and I'm looking forward to getting back here next week and seeing what happens.
Thank you so much again for sharing your creativity, the character art that we showed earlier, the logo here, and just your caricature and bringing Huon to life. Really appreciate that so much. You guys know me. I'm Dave. I get to play games, produce games, and run games here, and it's a joy, and it's something that I look forward to very, very much. It's a great place to explore our imagination, and the importance of imagination we know is kind of everything right now. So exercise your imagination when you can, because that's what's going to save us at some point here in the not too distant future. A couple things real quick. We have not only will we be back here Tuesday, but on Thursday this week, we're kicking off a new 8-part Siren's Demise campaign using the House of Eidolon system. Penborough is coming back to game master that one. We've got an awesome group of players, and it's going to be a blast. So I'm very excited. I'm playing.
We should pitch people to go check out the prequel, the three episode prequel.
That's a great idea. Thank you, Ty. I'm gonna drop the YouTube link in the chat right now. You can find the 3-part prequel. That's the lead up to this campaign that's starting. And it was a blast, super fun. I get to play an EOD Paladin. I'm very, very excited to blow things up. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, so we've got that. And then on Saturday this week, we're kicking off our Things from the Flood campaign with Alan Henry and his friends from New Zealand coming back. We are reprising our roles that we played when we did Tales from the Loop, which is also on our YouTube channel. We did that like a year ago, and now it's 4 years later, and I get to play Milton again, and he's a 15-year-old kid, and he's just so awkward and fun, and I can't wait. All his friends are like 18 and 19 years old, so it's going to be great. So anyways, that's going to be happening this Saturday as well, and then going on for weeks into the future. So lots going on. And with that, I would like to say thank you all for being here. We are going to raid into dummies and dice rolls here, so stick around for just another minute. And yeah, we'll see you on Thursday. Thanks a lot, everybody. You guys were brilliant. Amazing stuff, you guys. Thanks, everybody. We'll see ya.